Let's begin with the top story of the day. In Pakistan, supporters of the Pakistan-Tehreek-e-Insaf party attacked the Lahore residence of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. They threw petrol bombs inside his house. They also set parked vehicles on fire. This comes as violent protests escalate across the country against the arrest of former Prime Minister Imran Khan. Sharif has warned that violent protesters will be dealt with an iron hand. PTI supporters stormed a radio station in Pakistan's northwestern city of Peshawar. This happened as part of the protests against Imran Khan's arrest. Radio Pakistan was located in this building. Some employees were trapped inside as protesters damaged equipment and set the building ablaze. Imran Khan's lawyers met him for over an hour. They've alleged a conspiracy to kill him in prison. One of the lawyers said that Khan complained of chest pains. Khan claims his meals were laced with insulin in order to induce a heart attack. The former Pakistani PM was indicted in a corruption case, the Toshakhana gift case, a day after he was arrested. Several leaders of Imran Khan's Pakistan-Tehreek-e-Insaf party have been arrested. This includes Shah Mahmood Qureshi, Fawad Chaudhry and Asad Umar. Reports say that Qureshi was arrested by the Islamabad police and taken to an undisclosed location. A video has surfaced showing Qureshi being taken away by policemen in plain clothes. Shifting focus to the war in Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine claim to have launched more attacks on each other's military personnel and equipment. Russian military continues to advance westward. It has launched multiple offensives in Donetsk, Zaporizhzhia and Kherson. Meanwhile, fighting continues unabated in the east. Ukrainian forces repelled dozens of Russian attacks in the past 24 hours. Ukrainian Air Force carried out strikes on Russian ammunition and fuel depots. Ukraine says that Russian troops near Bakhmut have retreated by up to 2 kilometers. The head of Ukraine's ground forces has said that this is the result of counterattacks. Russia's Wagner military group has been leading the battle in Bakhmut for months now. However, the group's chief recently threatened to pull out his troops if he wasn't given enough ammunition. Russia has planned to relocate about 2,700 Ukrainian staff members from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. This is according to Ukraine's atomic energy company. It has warned that a lack of qualified personnel at the facility could be potentially catastrophic. The nuclear power plant in Zaporizhzhia is the largest in Europe. It has been occupied by Russia since the beginning of the war last year. Israel has launched fresh strikes against 3 Palestinian commanders in Gaza. This is the second round of cross-border fire in a week. Israel said that the commanders had planned attacks against its citizens. The country's military says it has also hit more than 50 targets in Gaza. Thousands of U.S. law enforcement personnel have been deployed to the U.S.-Mexico border. The country is gearing up for a surge of migrant influx. Meanwhile, the US has launched deportation flights from El Paso to Honduras and Guatemala. It aims to deport individuals who were recently apprehended by US border patrols. COVID-19 border restrictions, known as Title 42, are set to come to an end in the US. The country's Secretary of Homeland and Security has delivered a statement. He said that the border is not open and that illegal entrants will be quickly returned. The US rolled out a new regulation on Wednesday. It will deny asylum to most migrants crossing the US-Mexico border illegally. US Democrats have introduced a new citizenship act. It creates a roadmap to earn citizenship for around 11 million undocumented immigrants. Many will get an immediate path to citizenship as well. The act also aims to make changes to the H-1B visa system. It improves the access to green cards for workers in low-wage industries. Australia's Trade Minister Don Farrell has arrived in Beijing to meet his Chinese counterpart. His aim is to push for the removal of all trade impediments and stabilize diplomatic relations. Farrell said that the move will benefit both countries and is in the interests of Australian exporters and producers. China is Australia's largest trading partner. The Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang and his French counterpart Catherine Colonna met in Paris. Qin said China is willing to work with France to accelerate cooperation in various fields. Meanwhile, Colonna said that France-China relations are crucial and that the two sides should fully restart cooperation. Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen has said that she hopes more women will join the reserve forces training. Tsai visited a training camp. This is where the first batch of female reservists were allowed to attend the training for the first time. Taiwan is reforming its reserve forces training. The push comes at a time when Taiwan faces a threat from China. In Kenya, a court has extended the detention of cult leader Paul Mackenzie by 30 days. The death toll in the case has climbed to 133. Hundreds of people are still reportedly missing. Authorities continue to search for human remains in shallow graves. Mackenzie has been accused of ordering his followers to starve their children and themselves so that they can go to heaven. In Colombia, former military and police officers held a protest at the Bolivar Square in Bogota. They demanded better retirement conditions from the government. Protesters say that the government is not paying them properly. Finland's outgoing Prime Minister, Sanna Marin, has filed for divorce with her husband, Markus Räikkönen. In an Instagram post, Marin said that they will remain best friends. Marin and Räikkönen recently worked at a venture capital firm. They got married in August 2020 when Marin was still dealing with the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. A lull in high temperatures has brought some relief to Canada's Alberta. The province has been dealing with massive wildfires. 76 forest and bushfires remained active in the province. 23 are still considered out of control. At least one oil company has reopened 7 of its 9 facilities. Alberta is one of the world's largest oil-producing regions. People in parts of Spain are bracing for another difficult summer. This comes as they endured 16-hour-long water cuts last year. The town of Vacarisses has gained notoriety for its quantity of pools. There are 7,000 people in the town and more than 1,500 registered pools. There is one for every 5 residents. This comes as water management has become a hot topic in Spain amid a drought. New Zealand's Auckland has declared a state of emergency. This is because of torrential rains which have brought heavy floods in several areas. Roads have been flooded, several expressways have been closed, train and shipping services have been suspended. Some areas are also experiencing thunderstorms with strong winds. Tech giant Microsoft has said that it will not raise salaries for its full-time employees this year. However, it will continue with bonuses, stock awards, and promotions. The company's move comes as it gears towards enhancing its lucrative AI business. Last month, Microsoft also reported bumper profits during its third quarter results. Reports suggest that antitrust regulators from the European Union will likely approve Microsoft's acquisition of the gaming firm Activision Blizzard. The approval may come as soon as next week. If it goes through, the EU's clearance will come nearly 3 weeks after the UK blocked the deal. The UK had blocked the acquisition over concerns that it would hinder competition in the cloud gaming sector. Google has wrapped up its annual I/O conference. The tech giant has made some major announcements during the event. One of the announcements was the global rollout of its AI-powered chatbot, Bard. Bard will now be available in over 180 countries. The company has also ramped up Google Search. Users will now be able to see AI-powered answers for some of their queries. It has also launched 3 new products in the Google Pixel lineup. European Union AntiTrust Regulators are seeking to get more information on Apple's mobile payment system. As per reports, the regulators are looking to close any loopholes concerning the payment system. Last year, an EU watchdog had charged Apple for its anti-competitive practices. It had accused the tech giant of blocking competitors' access to key technology. The access was necessary for the development of rival solutions to maintain competition. TikTok clarified that it will not delay the launch of the US shopping platform. This comes after a media report suggested that it may do so. The reports say that it may delay the launch owing to growing pressure on its business in the US. Last year, TikTok launched a small-scale, invite-only version of the platform. It had then said that a full rollout would be scheduled for early spring. In a first, a man in China has been detained for spreading a fake story using ChatGPT. He allegedly generated a fake story about a train crash killing 9 construction workers in a Chinese city. The story reportedly gained more than 15,000 clicks after being published on social media. A US accounting watchdog has found massive deficiencies in the audits of US-listed Chinese firms. These audits were performed by auditing giants KPMG and PwC. The auditing firms reportedly failed to obtain enough evidence to substantiate the company's financial statements. This means that the auditors could not corroborate the accuracy of the Chinese firm's financial transactions. US-based automaker General Motors will consolidate its North American sales operations. GM will combine its operations for commercial vehicles, parts, and telematics services under a new brand. The new umbrella brand will be known as GM Envolve. The newly created brand will compete with Ford's Pro Unit and others in the league. GM executives believe that the move will streamline operations for its commercial fleet customers. The conglomerate Grupo Mexico is all set to buy Citigroup's retail banking operations in the country. Media reports suggest that a confirmation of the deal could come as soon as this week. The Mexican conglomerate will buy the unit for about $7 billion. As part of the deal, Citi will reportedly retain a roughly 10% stake in the Mexican unit. US-based bankrupt crypto exchange Bittrex has received court permission to borrow $7 million in Bitcoin. It will use the money to fund its bankruptcy proceedings. Earlier this week, Bittrex filed for bankruptcy and wound up its US operations. However, its global operations continue to operate. Let's now move on to sports. In cricket, Chennai Super Kings beat Delhi Capitals by 27 runs at Chennai's M.A. Chidambaram Stadium on Wednesday evening. The Chennai side set an attainable target of 168 runs. However, the Delhi side was only able to score 140 at a loss of 8 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. Kolkata Knight Riders will face a struggling Rajasthan Royals at Kolkata's Eden Gardens Thursday evening. Both the teams are currently locked on 10 points in a mid-table traffic rush for the playoffs. The Kolkata side are high on confidence after 2 thrilling wins. Meanwhile, the Royals seem to be at their lowest ebb after 3 consecutive defeats. In football, Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has spoken on his former player Lionel Messi's future. Guardiola has said that the Argentine will do the impossible to return to FC Barcelona. Messi's Paris Saint-Germain contract expires on June 30th. As part of speculation surrounding his future, the forward is also linked with a return to former club Barca. Inter Milan scored 2 early goals to secure a 2-0 win over AC Milan in their Champions League semi-final first leg on Wednesday. With the win, Inter stay on course to become the first Italian team to win the trophy since they last did so in 2010. Inter will now host Milan in the second leg at the iconic San Siro Stadium on May 16th. The winners will face Real Madrid or Manchester City in the final. Bayer Leverkusen coach Xabi Alonso says his side are determined to reach the Europa League final. Xabi's comments come ahead of their semi-final first leg tie against Roma. Roma will go up against Leverkusen late Thursday evening. The encounter will also see Alonso coming up against his former Real Madrid boss, Jose Mourinho. The return leg will take place on May 18th in Germany. Meanwhile, AS Roma coach Jose Mourinho has said that his side will not gift the game to Bayer Leverkusen. Mourinho's statements come ahead of their semi-final first leg. Mourinho also added that it was likely that key striker Paulo Dybala will not be in the starting lineup due to his injury. The return leg will take place on May 18th in Germany. In tennis, American player Jessica Pegula has criticized the Madrid Open organizers. Pegula's criticism comes after she and her fellow doubles finalists were not allowed to make presentation speeches. All other finalists in the singles and the men's doubles addressed the crowd after their matches. She said, "I don't know what century everyone was living in when they made that decision." Fabio Fognini edged fellow 35-year-old Andy Murray in a nearly 3-hour battle in the opening round of the Italian Open. Wildcard entry Fognini's crafty shot-making proved the difference. The Italian produced a series of drop shot winners that was so effective that Murray didn't even attempt to run them down. Murray was coming off his first title in 3 years. He won an ATP Challenger event in southern France over the weekend. In golf, Tiger Woods is not on the full field list for next week's PGA Championship. The development comes as the 15-time major champion continues to recover from ankle surgery. He underwent fusion surgery on a bone in his ankle. The next major after the PGA Championship is the US Open from June 15th to 18th. And finally, over to the ongoing ocean race. 11th hour racing team have now won leg 4 of the ocean race as they lead the fleet into their hometown of Newport in Rhode Island. The 11th hour team held off Team Malizia to claim a first leg win of the event after 17 days of racing north from Itajaí, Brazil. They were skippered by Charlie Enright. The upcoming leg 5 of 7 will see a 3,500 nautical mile sail to Denmark's second largest city, Aarhus. To entertainment now, actor Al Pacino has been roped in to star in a biopic on Italian artist Amedeo Modigliani. The film will be directed by actor Johnny Depp. It is based on Dennis McIntyre's play Modigliani that takes place over a 48-hour period. Production on the film will begin in fall in Budapest. Streaming giant Netflix has released the trailer of actor-turned-politician Arnold Schwarzenegger's biopic. The 3-part series is titled Arnold. It traces the actor's life and career from Austria to Hollywood and his run as California's governor. The release date for the sequel to the hit 1988 film Beetlejuice has been announced. Beetlejuice 2 will hit theaters on the 6th of September next year. Actor Michael Keaton will reprise his role as the titular character. Actor Jenna Ortega is also part of the cast. A sequel to the hit 2003 comedy film Freaky Friday is underway. The film was based on author Mary Rogers' 1972 novel of the same name. The film popularized the body swap genre of comedy. Actors Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis are set to reprise their roles in the sequel. Indian cricketer MS Dhoni's biopic is ready for a theatrical re-release in India after 7 years. The film is titled MS Dhoni: The Untold Story. It traces the rise of the former Indian skipper from a railways employee to a global cricketing icon. The film is produced by Foxstar Studios. Actor Keanu Reeves' band Dogstar is reuniting after over 2 decades. The band's official reunion will take place on the 27th of May at the Bottle Rock Napa Valley Music Festival. At the festival, the band will play music from their upcoming album. The band was formed in the mid-1990s and performed through the early 2000s. During this time, Dogstar released 3 albums. Reeves plays the bass guitar for the band. Disney has announced that it will combine the content of Hulu with Disney Plus into one app. The new app will be rolled out by the end of this year. The services will be available to users who've subscribed to both streaming platforms. Luxury fashion house Chanel took over Paramount Studios for its Cruise 2023-24 show. Chanel showcased its resort wear collection to a star-studded front row. Actors Margot Robbie, Tracy Ellis Ross, and Kirsten Stewart and rapper Snoop Dogg attended the show. Snoop Dogg also performed after the runway event. Composer Andrew Lloyd Webber's Broadway musical Bad Cinderella is coming to a close. The musical will have its final performance on the 4th of June. Bad Cinderella made its Broadway debut in March this year. Dropping attendance and mounting production costs are cited as the reasons for the decision. Netflix's co-CEO Ted Sarandos has pulled out of the PEN America Gala amid the Writers Guild of America strike. Sarandos was to be given the PEN America Business Visionary Award. He said that he didn't want to distract from the important work that PEN America does for writers and journalists. The gala is scheduled to take place on the 18th of May in New York, in the US.